All right. Anyways, I say welcome to everyone, myself included, because this is going to be my first time. Gotta get used to looking at the camera properly, gotta get used to pretty much everything. I will go over the brief overview now. Um, but welcome. I am DJ, mostly because I don't know who I am, but we're getting there. But so I have wanted to stream for a while, have wanted to do YouTube videos for a while, and I always put it off, decided I wasn't going to figure it out, or decided that I was too busy or stuff like that. But I have gone through a period of unemployment and also have some minor amounts of spite, which always helps with doing these types of things. And so now, here we are, about to play Digimon Story Time Stranger on a recording to test out, uploading to YouTube and Twitch, and then eventually I do plan to stream. The full disclosure on the stream part and the reason why I'm doing all this testing right now and why I'm about to really go ahead and sit down and figure out how to do all this stuff is that I am doing this mostly in protest of the new decision by Sony, well, the new official decision by Sony. They've been moving towards that for a little while, to stop trying to sell physical games, and in a larger sense to protest against that as a whole, because Xbox and Nintendo have been trying to do that for a while, and most of the gaming companies that release onto the PC have already stopped making physical games. Like, right now, if I throw in my copies of StarCraft 2, or even StarCraft, and try to start them up, well, not really StarCraft, like, unless you already have the Blizzard browser set up, but definitely StarCraft 2, it requires you to get onto the internet and stuff, and then most of the actual stuff just doesn't really work off of the game alone. You have to have the specific web application for Blizzard to really get StarCraft 2 going, and that's just the thing. And other games are even more involved, and legitimately though, it's just frustrating. And there's several groups that are doing a good job at trying to fight against that. We've got landmark decisions in Europe right now that are paving the way for making sure that when games stop their service, they don't disappear forever. There's several things still in the courts as to when companies will pull your ability to play a game for no freaking reason. Like, you aren't banned, you're just not allowed to play anymore, even though you own the CD and stuff. There's a lot of those going, and so my hope is that I can get a stream going, make like $5-10 a month. Like, I'm not actually expecting to blow up. But you know, if I'm able to get all that stuff taken care of, I want to donate all my proceeds, unless this is able to cover like a bill or two, and then in excess of that bill or two, like, but most if not all of the proceeds of streaming and doing minor YouTube videos around this stuff is going to be going into the nonprofit organizations that I know are fighting the good fight. And that's kind of where I am now. So basically, very long-winded explanation aside, I'm starting with Time Stranger because that's kind of absorbed my life, but eventually I plan to play through my entire collection of games, every game that I personally own. I'm just using Time Stranger, this recording, and a couple other things to test out the systems, figure out what I need to iron out. I've rented a capture card from the library until I can eventually get my own personal one, and then I'm gonna have a full streaming schedule and all that stuff. But I'm working out the kinks. So this recording is gonna be on YouTube and Twitch if I can make it go on to Twitch. I'm going to be using this recording to test uploading to those systems. Iron out any kinks that I see in my current setup. I already know I have a few. Don't mind the mess back there. It's because I moved and have not gotten through getting my whole room in order. I've got a lot of little things going, and I think that's enough preamble. I'm gonna be chatting up a storm at the beginnings and ends of all these videos, because I got a lot to say. Like, the main reason why I have a TikTok that doesn't really get uploads that much is because my brain goes so fast that by the time I get towards a TikTok, I've usually forgotten the stuff that I'm trying to say. And so when I'm signing on and signing off from streams, recordings, and other stuff, you're just gonna get a lot of that. I'm gonna try to keep it as concise as I can, but I'm gonna fail more often than not. Anyways, to wrap this up, I am gonna start into Time Stranger. What I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be starting a new game. Like I said, Time Stranger is kind of consuming me. Basically, I got it on the Switch because I do not have a PS5. I do not have an Xbox Series S, but I have a Switch, and I did eventually plan to get a Switch too. But the Switch is fine for me, especially in the wake of all the stuff that's been happening more recently. Just gotta play on what I have available, and also I don't necessarily want to upgrade after a lot of the stuff that has happened with the Switch 2. And so I've got this game. I've been playing it obsessively for about a week now, and it's still also my best option for testing things because I don't own the game either. Full disclosure, library has been very good to me. Very good to me. But so, while I have it in my temporary possession, I'm using it to test out all my stuff. So I've got the capture card in my temporary possession. I've played around with that, trying to figure out organizing OBS. I might also try out some other Stream Deck systems. So basically, Digimon is one that I can talk your ear off no matter what. Like, if you were to ask me to give a 2-hour presentation with no prep work in front of a whole live con and make sure that it was something that they were going to be engaged about, I would be picking Digimon, and I can talk about the unofficial, official timeline and travel of the digital world. I say travel because the digital world has been said and shown in several pieces of media to be a living entity. And so, in and of itself. And so, we got that. I got distracted. I'm going to have to be better about that. I also got to get used to actually looking at the camera instead of looking at my stream setup. We're working on this. This is not going to be a grade A material. The little background that I have behind my stream setup as of right now isn't even what's going to be there next week. Like, when I do my second ever upload, and when I'm really trying to figure out how I'm going to set up streaming it together. I've got a lot of kinks to iron out. I just want to get this up there, play around with editing softwares for clipping this into smaller portions, play around with uploading in general to see what options we have, how we can modify things, what roadblocks I'm going to run into at the beginning, because I know that there's a lot of trademark, copyright, and other stuff that YouTube and Twitch just don't actually deal with. Like, they'll decide on just getting rid of it or taking away the monetization right away. And so knowing what my options are at each step of the game is going to be important. That's why I'm going to do test recordings for a couple weeks of this one, like this setup. When I get onto actual streaming and other stuff, I'm going to do a couple other tests at like milestones, 1,000 followers, 5,000 followers. Like, you know, because each time you're getting yourself out to more people, that's going to change the way that things are looked at and everything. And yeah, so I just got to make sure that I'm ironing out everything, making sure that I'm doing everything right, trying to get myself in order. But that's a digression. But basically, I'm going to be playing through Digimon Storytime Stranger. Going to be running commentary because this is a good trial run of me actually streaming. Because, you know, for the first little bit, it's just going to be me talking to myself. Anyways, like, yeah, eventually I will have a chat that I need to keep up with. I'm going to probably be good at talking back and forth with you guys. But that's going to be down the line. So, without further ado, I'm going to explain what I'm doing with this particular run that I am going to be using for my test recordings. This particular run, I am going to be going through the game. Yeah, I will be adding voices where there are no voice acting. I will be speaking as little as I can through the actual voice acting that is done in the game. And one of the other things that I'm going to do is I am going to specifically kneecap myself in this run. Obviously, a lot of the fun of Digimon is going ahead and getting your Digivolutions, Digivolutions, and everything like that, and finding your great team of Digimon. I'm going to take that a step further and limit myself overall to 6 Digimon. Now, I'm going to run with pseudo Nuzlocke rules for the first little bit. So every time we go through a full, like, end of term cutscene type deal, every time we go through one of the major missions, up until we get to 6 Digimon, we will be able to convert 1 Digimon. The lowest Digimon training level with the highest recorded value. Max is 200. I'm going to probably stick with the ones that have 200. Unless there's a baby Digimon that's like at 160, 180 that fits the bill. But basically, I'm going to get my starter Digimon. I'm going to get 5 other Digimon throughout. And then that's going to be my 6. After I get my 6, anytime a Digimon hits 200%, I'm going to convert them, and then I'm going to enhance one of my 6 Digimon. And that's how this is going to go. I'm doing this partially just so I can try to play with more of the stuff, and just kind of see what I can do on that level, and partially just to kind of go ahead and make a challenge for myself as I echo through a lot of the game. I also started out with the male character, so this time I'm going to be playing the female one. And a little bit of trivia. Even though I have never actually sat down and finished any of the fan fictions that I ever had going on in my head, way back before season 6 even happened, Digimon Cross Wars. I had a fan a fan edit, like a fan fiction of Digimon, and there were two characters in particular my brain latched onto. That was Takashi, who was supposed to be the daughter of Takato and Jerry, and then Zach, who was a unique character from the season 5 storyline. It was a whole cross-dimension storyline and everything. So Zach was my character for my main playthrough, because pretty much when I do a Digimon game, I usually play Zach. When I don't play Zach, I play Takashi. And so, yeah, that's where we're gonna be. And let's get this thing started. Complete. I've wasted 15 minutes of my first recording ever, and I do plan to keep this to somewhere in between 45 minutes to an hour. I really should be doing less for my first test stream, but let's be real. I don't have the diligence to do that.
Take your seat and wait for the show to start. A story about the natural laws of the world is about to begin.
One of the other things is, where I am in the story, I have yet to see what this room is actually for. So I'm looking forward to that later. That being said, one of the things that I'm going to talk about right now while this little cutscene is going is a minor annoyance that I have with everything. So we have this right here, and it's going to lead into talking about how we've drawn a lot of attention, and so we need to keep a low profile. And they reference this anime several times in the thing, and so they even have a point where they give us a alternate costume in the story. But no matter what, the story always registers any type of reference to your character as if they are wearing this outfit that the anime character is wearing. So you could be in the shirt that they give you in story, you could be in one of the ones that you can purchase later on, and it's still going to act like you're in this outlandish cosplay. And I don't really get that if you're going to make a whole point of being like, let's go ahead and dress up and keep a low profile, and you even do that with some of the other characters later on. Yeah, so anyways, we're gonna introduce.
Uh-oh. Looks like we've been overdoing it a little lately. The world is starting to wake up to our existence. Ironic, really. A secret organization that hunts down urban legends is becoming an urban legend in its own right. If that anime you just saw gets too popular, you can forget about going around dressed like that anymore. I'll go ahead and put in a request for budget for a new uniform. But for this mission, you'll need to keep a low profile. Is that clear, Agent? Now then, are you already aware of the anomalous phenomena that have been observed in this city?
Who are we again?
I know it's been a while, but come on. I relay orders and info from HQ, and you handle the investigation in the field. Regulations forbid me from sharing my name, but you can call me Operator, as usual. Getting back to the mission. Are you already aware of the anomalous phenomena that have been observed in this city?
So yeah, I talk about this later. One of the things that I will be doing every playthrough of every game is making the choices myself. Yes, there will be times where there are choices, actual choices in the game, that I will put to a vote. Most of the times I'm going to be playing either as if I'm playing it for the first time or I'm actually playing it for the first time. A lot of the games that I have, I haven't gotten through because of various reasons. There are a lot of times where I have owned games without systems. And so, yeah. But yeah, when it comes to these types of things, I get immersed in the story. I like to really dive into the story. And so, right now, I'm answering it like I would. Some of the times, especially when I was playing through as Zack, and I was going through it for the first time, I noticed relatively early on, like in this one or the next one, that the option with the little yellow circle next to it is an option that will allow the story to progress, and then the ones without that will just kind of loop right back around. And so I would play through the rest of them even if they weren't something that I would say in character, just because. But yeah. Anyways, I said, who are you again? Now I'm gonna say, of course I am. Because, of course I am.
Inexplicable explosions, sightings of mysterious life forms, localized earthquakes, abnormal weather patterns. There's no shortage of strange reports. All typical anomalies, so it's time for Adamus to step in. The top brass have high hopes for us, I'm told. So, I'm hoping we can make this mission a repeat performance.
Repeat performance?
I personally wasn't satisfied with the results of our last mission, since we let the target escape at the last minute. But the higher-ups really value the data we obtained during the mission. Hence, their high hopes for us today.
Speaking of, this of course brings up the other bit of this. I'm not going to talk about all the questions that I still have, only being partway through the story in this video. I'm only going to talk about the ones that come up, because some of them are spoilers, and there's like maybe one person that winds up finding this video and wanting to live their playthrough of this game through me. I will be appreciative of that. I don't expect it to happen. But, like, who knows? If that happens, my candor is for you. But one of the questions that I have for this story right away is, what else does Adamus do? Because a lot of the tutorial portion of the game is explaining to us what Digimon are, what we are doing in this mission, how we would activate and everything. And yes, part of that comes from being a game. But that's the Doylean, Conan Arthur Doyle perspective answer as to like what's going on with this tutorial. In universe, in the Watsonian perspective, in reference to our dear Watson, how would the explanation be that we are needing to be introduced to some of these things if we've already been on several missions and have been working with this organization for a while? It's one of those things that I really do wonder if they are going to answer, because there's not really a logical place to have that type of answer in this story, because everything centers around the end of the world. Spoiler, but you all kind of knew that if you've watched the trailer or anything. But yeah, so that's just my main question right now in this part.
I'll send the coordinates to your Digivice. Check your map and approach the target location. Again, don't blow your cover. And let's pray that the anime from earlier doesn't become too popular. Now then, it's time to start the mission. I'm counting on you.
Okay. Digimon beat break. Ah, yes. So I wonder whether this is just purely because of the fact that it's in the most recent version, the fact that it's showing Digimon Breed Break on there, because when I played through this part of the story on the trailer before I was able to get my hands on an actual copy of the game, it definitely did not show Beat Break at all. It showed like this commercial here and stuff like that. Definitely not Beat Break. One of the things that I also like to do is explore everywhere in the world and talk to everybody when I can. I'm not going to read all of the dialogue in this because I've wasted 25 minutes just explaining the premise and everything else. I've got to get better about shortening that up. So I am going to kind of breeze through, especially because a lot of the commentary at this point in the game is superfluous. It's basically just people complaining about the fact that transportation for the area has been shut down, or the protest that our character is in the process of going to. So yeah. Anyways, I am going to read these parts though. Can you see this message? This is a communication system called Digiline. You can view the message on your device, on your Digivice. We'll make good use of the Digiline going forward. And then it gives you the tutorial. Yeah. So, anyways, we are going to keep going. And you kind of see it right now. We're in an area where public safety is kind of keeping you from going to these places. Like, if I come here, it's going to cut me off. It's going to be like, you can't go this way. It's almost time for that thing to start moving. And you obviously have the question of, what thing are they talking about? We all know what thing. But yeah. So we're gonna just keep going, and get this thing going. Anyways. One of the other things that I'm looking forward to in continuing to play through and doing this with the harder difficulties and everything is trying to see if I can beat some of the plot irrelevant fights that we run into. Like, I say plot irrelevant, I mean what you do is irrelevant because the plot's gonna make it happen the way that it's supposed to happen either way. There's not that many of them that I've run into currently in my place of this game.
I see you've reached the specified coordinates.
That being said, I've only lost like 3 fights total. I'm usually good about keeping my people healthy, stocked up and everything, but you know, at the same time, it's still one of those things where sometimes you just lose. But I have seen the story progress even if I lose, and I don't want to lose if I don't have to. So, gonna see if I can win some of those fights. Anyways, so he was like, I see you've reached the specified coordinates. Give me a sit rep. And we're just gonna ask about the wall first. What exactly
It's called the Wall of Hope. There was a big mysterious explosion in Nishi Shinjuku 8 years ago. The wall was built just after that, ostensibly for public safety, but the truth remains murky. The phenomena we've been sent to investigate are seen most often around this wall. Best to assume we'll be investigating what's on the inside as well.
The crowd is being confirmed around the target coordinates.
You can really feel the fear and anger of the crowd. Our studies indicate an odd correlation between an increase in the frequency of anomalies and heightened social unrest. Anomalies have been occurring exponentially more often of late, at a rate only seen a handful of times in history. And though we aren't sure why, almost all those precedents were accompanied by complete societal collapse. Be it from an epidemic, a natural disaster, even war. That's why we're in such a hurry. But in our haste, I'm afraid we've alerted the world to our existence. Nevertheless, our ultimate mission is to uncover the causality between these anomalies and the horrible tragedies that follow. Try investigating that area a little further.
liars! They're abusing state power! Make yourselves heard, everyone! All we want is to hear the truth! You're obviously hiding something! Stop making excuses and just tell us! Are you part of the protest too? Don't hold back! Get yourself up there and make yourself heard! Yeah, I know I read it a little bit off. Anyways, so here's where we get into a small gripe I have. It's very small, very minor. I have run into like 2 of these parts, but they are annoying still. Basically, you get into this, you get stuck in an area where you have fixed camera, fixed space, all you can do is walk forward, and you walk very slowly forward. And then there are other times where they have a similar crowd structure, where they're just like, you can clip through any and all the people and just kind of run where you need to go. And I don't like the fact that they make this into a specific mechanic that then it's just ignored in other times where it would be plot logical for you to have to navigate through a crowd. Like, either make a path through the crowd that you can navigate as normal, or just make that the thing. Like, it would be annoying every time, yes, but I'd rather the consistency. Anyways, I missed what that person said, but I'm going to read the rest of them as we walk through. Oh. Yo, I didn't realize that there was so much overlapping when I walked through this before. Well, yeah, there's a lot of them. I'm just going to keep going. Because it's just background information anyways. We all know that they're kind of frustrated about everything, but yeah. Just gonna keep moving. Voltio TV.
Are you all right?
And luckily, that happens right when we need to get past the Special Forces agent.
That tremor just now was likely one of our anomalous phenomena. I managed to narrow the target coordinates down thanks to some videos from 8 years ago. Footage of the anomaly in this district was uploaded to the internet back then by some civilians. The actual videos have since been removed, but the comments still remain, and they tell us that those videos were all recorded in areas that are now on the inside of that wall. Check again to see if there isn't some way to get beyond that wall.
Alright, and now we're about to get to the actual game.
An update. I'm sending you an additional mission. Someone is requesting aid near the target coordinates. That person had already been approved to contact your Digivice. Normally, I'd assume that to mean they're a member of the organization. At any rate, do what you can to keep whoever it is safe.
Roger that.
It seems you've discovered some phase electron life forms. Phase electron life forms are mysterious organisms, often found in the vicinity of anomalies. Adamus has been studying them for years, but the truth of their nature still eludes us. The analysis department at HQ finally decided on a name for these creatures in a report they put out the other day. Going forward, they're to be referred to as digital monsters, or Digimon for short. Naturally, we won't send you out defenseless. I'll transmit some firepower to you right now. The connection will only allow me to send one, however, so make your choice.
Yeah, so this goes right back into what I was talking about before with what was our mission before, what does Adamus do outside of this? Because, yeah, they've got all this information on phase electron life forms. They wind up going ahead and giving you your own right away when you get into this part. but we've been looking into anomalous phenomenon before without this, which means that Digimon aren't the only anomalous phenomenon. Phase electron life forms are not the only thing that needs to be considered here. And so, what did we do before? Anyways, the answer is Gomamon. The answer should always be Gomamon. Gomamon is the GOAT. Let's be real here. I don't necessarily like the fact that Gomamon in most of the games is classified as a vaccine type. Like, honestly though, just to be personally, the Gomamon line makes the most sense to me to go through data. But, you know, he's a vaccine type, so he's a vaccine type. Anyways, let's go ahead and start this up.
Here we go.
Contact with hostile Digimon confirmed. Digivice activated. Execute the Digimon summoning program.
And thus Gomamon is realized. One of the other things I'll take the time to say right now is I wish they would do more with that. Because yes, obviously doing that in the front part of every battle would become tedious even with it being that cool. But, you know, I'm at least a fifth, if not a third through the game. And that's the only time that I've seen them ever do that. So, you know, yeah, we've got that going on. But yeah, so, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get to the tutorial portion of this. Basically, this tutorial part, we fight 3 Digimon. 1 data type, 1 virus type, 1 vaccine type. Gomamon is able to basically solo through everyone because this is still the tutorial. Obviously, in any other scenario, it would be the same way because beginning of the game. But the thing that I do take slight umbrage with is how little the numbers matter in the early parts of the game, and really in general, because through a lot of the story, you just kind of wind up not being able to really make sense of where the numbers line up. Anyway, Gomamon is going to smash Monocron. I almost said Monocron, but that's a different Digimon, way stronger. And then we are going to take on...
Here we go.
Yeah. Vaccine type beats virus type. What can I say? Yeah, so Digimon for this particular game forewent a lot.
The public often calls them ghosts or monsters, but we've decided to define phase electron life forms as Digimon. The Digivice enables interaction with such beings. A critical function is the Digi-attack. It allows you to command your allies to hit hostile Digimon with a preemptive strike. Go on, give it a try.
Alright, so there's that. But the, this particular game does away with a lot of the traditional ways that we think of affinities for Digimon. If you've played a Digimon game before,
Well done.
Digimon story games specifically, because regular Digimon worlds, they don't usually have it, but within the story games, a lot of them kept an elemental affinity along with their type. data, vaccine, virus. They added more types to this, and then they also took away inherent elemental affinities. So you still have your elemental all throughout and stuff. You can see on the screen as well the attribute types that are there: vaccine, virus, data, and then several other ones that I don't necessarily know the names of, but they wind up going ahead and adding a little bit of extra variance to this, with resistances and all the other stuff. And I do like that change, because it's a good idea. Like, basically the only thing that you can truly know for a fact is going to factor in when you're meeting a new Digimon for the very first time is the traditional Trinity. And that's not even guaranteed because you can run into some of the Digimon of these other types. Alright, anyways, he says something else. With progressive enhancement, eventually the preemptive strike of your Digi attack will at times be enough to end the battle before it even begins. That will help you complete your mission more efficiently, so I hope you put it to good use. Alright, keep going. And this has got Sumon as a data type. We can't one-shot him like we can all the other ones. But, you know, two-shot him. Technically two-shot because the first shot also goes through. One of the things that I do think will come out of this particular playthrough is I do think that the Digi attack that you're seeing me use here will be more effective for longer. One of the things that happens in the story, as far as I am right now, is the Digi attack really just because hey, we're gonna go ahead and smack this person, and that's gonna be it. Anyways, so for reference, one second, he's gonna talk.
The target coordinates are just ahead, but there appears to be an obstacle in your path. Your Digimon should be able to remove it easily. Give it a try.
But yeah, as I was starting to say, for reference, I have talked way too much. We're at the 43-minute mark. I'm either going to end it here, or I am going to end it in the scene after this.
You got it!
But yeah, elimination of target object confirmed. Continue heading to the target coordinates. So, wonder what's behind this. Yeah. Unfortunately, you don't know. But there is a suspiciously straight hallway, so kind of a stereotypical scene. But using the first Digimon to ever really appear in game media for Digimon on the cover of Digimon World, Metal Greymon Blue virus type. So yeah, really kind of
Hey, over here!
yeah. I do think I'm going to end it after
This way, run!
But yeah, so this was my first test video. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube tonight. I don't care about uploading times or anything like that right now, and I probably won't for a while because of the fact that I'm just here trying to get my stuff together and then have fun. So we'll just see each other later.
Okay. Let's go.
But yeah, so
Thank goodness we finally found each other again.
do we know each other?
Huh?
enough with the jokes already. Now is hardly the time, don't you think? Hey, where did he go? Wasn't he with you? Well, maybe he went on ahead. Come on, we need to hurry up to the roof of the government building.
Alright. So, the roof of the government building?
Seriously, what's with you? I mean, isn't a war supposed to break out? We have to get to the roof of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building.
I'm guessing she's the target for our additional mission. She's not making a whole lot of sense, though. It's highly probable that she's been affected by an anomaly. What I still want to know, though, is why she was already approved to contact your Digivice. I'll check the database again. If I learn anything, I'll be in touch right away. Even though she piques my interest, we need to do something about that giant Digimon first. We can't allow it into the city. For now, please proceed with the primary mission.
Alright. And so yeah, like I said, after this scene, I'm ending it. So this is gonna be DJ signing off. I will actually make up a sign off or something later on. But yeah, that's just all we got going on for us right now. Matane, everyone.